which were really bad times where we all slept at the petrol station. So that's indication that, you really need to get up and talk about it, because we cannot, as a nation that deserves so much more, come to this level.
That was Ken Ofori-Atta in 2014, outlining all the hardships the then Mahama-led administration had unleashed on Ghanaians during the Occupy Ghana protests. Well, believed to be the Peter to closely work with the economic messiah in Dr. Bawumia, he was appointed Minister for Finance. Got an idea how long one of his vettings lasted? 2 days.
Born November 7th, 1959. Come from Chebi in the Eastern region. And married to Professor Angela Ofori-Atta. We have 3 children.
May I interrupt here? Is Ken Ofori-Atta your full name, or are there any you're leaving out?
Kenneth Nanayao Kuntun Kununku Ofori-Atta.
There was a renewed hope and faith in a better than bad performance from him. Admittedly, he started well.
We are not going to the IMF. Whatever we do, we are not. The consequences are there. We are a proud nation. We have the resources. We have the capacity.
But everything went wrong when constant calls for a cease in borrowing fell on deaf ears. The gospels he shared provided no relief.
Look at Psalm 105. It says that let's give thanks and note that we should rejoice with the Lord and make his deeds, great deeds, known among his people. Psalm 103, how good and pleasant it is when God's people live together in unity, for then the hand bestows his blessings.
But the suffering masses would have none of that, and that includes an enraged minority.
We in the minority want our minister responsible for finance to step aside.
A moment of reflection for many, wondering if he would make it after falling ill.
I got COVID somewhere in November and then got out of the hospital. Then you began to feel jaundiced, and so feeling quite unwell. You've eventually got diagnosis that the liver was inflamed.
The minority pushed for a vote of censure against him, and he had to put up a defense.
Ghana decided to go on a route where the burden on the banking sector cleanup was transferred to the taxpayer. I think that was wrong.
Answered by every record parliamentary practice is an authority to be relied on. We will make reference to the 1992 Constitution, the Public Financial Management Act, the Fiscal Responsibility Act, the Bank of Ghana Act, and breaches thereon.
Today, I acknowledge our economy is facing difficulties and the people of Ghana are enduring hardships. I am truly sorry.
Let's not forget that even in his own quarters, forces were marshaled to have him kicked out.
We are by this medium communicating our strong desire that the President change the Minister of Finance and the Minister of State in the Finance Ministry without further delay.
It was just too much, and the President would still have none of it.
But our economy's growth was spectacular. Somebody who has been able to do that. Why would I say that? How do I do that?
Eventually, the President caved in, and Ken was removed, but not entirely. Out of government, Ken could finally heave a sigh of relief, but that was only momentarily.
The OSP declares Kenneth Ofori-Atta a wanted person. He is a fugitive from justice.
But his colleagues will have none of it. Politics are not law. That's their argument.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, he's traumatized by the labeling of this adjective described to his person. for former ministers' houses to be raided. It's completely unnecessary.
You do not use soldiers to raid somebody's home, especially when that person has told you that I am not in the country and I'll report when I get back.
And as expected, the majority will have their time of the day on these matters.
In our local language, fugitive, in our local language, it means that or to put it simply, we should not be afraid of accountability.
What will be the position, though, of an Attorney General who believes in upholding the rule of law?
I am a bit reluctant to interfere in the work of the OSP. However, I think that it is only right that because he's exercising prosecutorial authority under Article 88(3) of the Constitution, I should be in the know.
That's not much of an assurance for the minority because they want more.
We will not remain silent while political persecution takes root in Ghana. This country belongs to all of us, and no administration has the right to weaponize state institutions against its political opponents.
Today, a once hailed promising Peter to an economic messiah stands accused of corruption, and as the investigation unfolds, the question remains, will Ken Ofori-Atta's legacy be defined by the high hopes of his earlier years or the storm of controversy that now surrounds him? Well, this is Tutuwaa Danso for GHOne Television and Star FM.